Michael Joseph Vaughn. Missing July 27, 2021. Michael Joseph Vaughn went missing on July 27, 2021. Michael has bright blonde hair, big blue eyes and fair skin. Michael is affectionately called Monkey by his family. Michael was born on June 24, 2016 to Brandy Neal and Tyler Vaughn in Fruitland, Idaho, a small town near the Washington and Oregon borders. Brandy and Tyler have a solid relationship and have done nothing but search for Michael since the day he went missing. Michael is a happy, vivacious boy who loves monster trucks, camping, stargazing and pizza. Michael is a boy who loves his family and loves life. After Michael's 5th birthday, Brandy and Tyler experienced the worst nightmare two parents can possibly endure. Their world turned upside down and will never be the same again. On the evening of July 27, 2021, Michael was home with his father Tyler while his mother Brandy was at work. Around 6:30 p.m. Michael was playing with his Nintendo Switch. Tyler went to wake up their daughter from her nap and change her diaper. Tyler called a local pizza place and ordered dinner at 6:40 p.m. Tyler went back to the living room and realized Michael wasn't there. Tyler then went outside and scoured the neighborhood. The police were called after no luck finding Michael. When Payette County Police arrived on the scene, they scoured everywhere near Michael's home on SW 9th Street. They searched all in night and into the morning. They sent out the first missing and endangered child alert at 8:20 p.m. that night, followed by 4 different alerts to emails, phone calls, and text messages all the way up to 11:21 p.m. Michael was last seen in his blue Minecraft t-shirt and dark blue boxer shorts and size 11 flip-flops. At the time Michael went missing, he was 3 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 50 pounds. On the early morning of July 28, 2021, the Idaho State Police and FBI became involved in the search. The Fruitland Police Department is a very small department. They only have about 12 officers on duty working at any given time. It's pretty safe to say that Payette County Police Department doesn't deal with missing children often, and they were more than happy to receive the extra help, any outside help and resources that would come in to assist. A few days after Michael's disappearance on July 31, Chief Hoff of the Fruitland Police Department gave a conference to explain the investigation. They had talked to every neighbor in close proximity to Michael's home. They also looked through as many surveillance and doorbell cameras. By doing so, they were able to find a few joggers and people walking, as well as cars in the area that was interest to the authorities. The 2 vehicles that were around the area around the time of Michael's disappearance. One vehicle was a blue Dodge Avenger and the other was a 2017 to 2018 white Honda Pilot. They are also looking for information on a jogger and a man walking in the area of the splash pad at time of Michael's disappearance.
Fruitland Police Department, in conjunction with the state police, multiple Treasure Valley law enforcement agencies, and we continue to search for missing and endangered 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn, MJ to his family and friends. Michael was last seen near his residence on Southwest 9th Street in Fruitland at approximately 6:30 p.m. on July 27th, 2021. Operations to date include the methodical search of the area near Michael's residence, which included 2 irrigation runoff ditches, which were drained by the Fruitland Public Works Department in an extensive search and rescue effort, including the use of canines, aerial, and marine and land support. Idaho Fish and Game officers are continuing to search the river by boat 4 to 5 miles downriver and back up, and in the sloughs of the Snake River as well. The Fruitland Police Department will continue to organize search and rescue operations with resources provided by the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Team, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and others. We've received a tremendous amount of support from the Fruitland community and will continue to call upon them, but as needed. We're continuing to seek the public's assistance to identify individuals who are in the area of Southwest 8th, Southwest 9th, and Cornwall Way in Fruitland from 6:30 and 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday, July 27, 2021. If you were in that area or you know someone who was, please contact us at 208-642-6006, extension 0. That's the Payette County Sheriff's Office, and again, a tip line. Even if you don't believe that you have something that's relevant or relevant information to this case, we want you to contact us so we can recreate a complete picture of the time that Michael was last seen. Every minute counts in these investigations when searching for a missing child, and we appreciate the public's support and cooperation as we continue the search for Michael. If you live in the immediate area, please thoroughly search your property to include any outbuildings, vehicles, anything that a 5-year-old kid could get into. We also ask that you review any security camera footage that you may have that may be attached to your house. Video is extremely important to us in these circumstances and these investigations. We're also very grateful for the public's assistance in following up on each lead. We are vigorously following up on each lead that we're getting in. So I want to make it clear that as your tips are coming in, they're not falling on deaf ears. The community knows because they see us out here every single day, pounding the pavement, pounding these rural areas. We are working. We're committed to finding Michael, and we're not going to leave any stones unturned. So you need to understand that the investigation of this child we're using every resource, and it's very intense. We ask that the community only report information from credible sources to law enforcement. And as we know, that as we know that if we're just coming up with speculation, it causes rumors, and we'd like to have factual information. So please help us out that way so we can chase down factual leads. We also want to emphasize that Michael's family continues to be 100% cooperative with our investigation, and we're asking you to be extremely respectful of their privacy during this situation, and we would appreciate that. Super difficult time, as you would know. So Michael was last seen wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt over here on my left, dark blue boxer briefs, a child size 11 sandal, and he stands 3'7" tall. He's 50 pounds. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes, and he answers to the nickname Monkey. If you see Michael, have any information that would lead us to his whereabouts or his location, please call the Payette County Sheriff's Office at 208-642-6006, extension 0. So we just want to extend our appreciation to our community. We thank you for your continued support.
Police used tracking dogs to pick up Michael since they had the best tracking units available. It was said the best canine units from coast to coast were brought in to help with the investigation, according to Police Chief Huff from Payette County Police Department. He said our canines searched a 1 to 2 mile radius near where Michael went missing. We have searched nearly every property on Southwest 9th Street, including front and backyards.
This time I'd like to introduce Michael's mother, Brandy. Brandy is representing the Vaughn family today, and she would like to give a statement. So, Brandy.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for all being here today. My name is Brandy Neal, and I am Michael Joseph Vaughn's mama. I am here before all of you today on behalf of my family to speak about Michael. As much and everyone in our family wants to be up here in front of all of you today, I am here to speak on all of our behalf. I am here to ask you all, I'm here to ask you, please for your help. I am here to ask you to please keep Michael's face, his name, and his story in every one of your hearts, your eyes, and your minds. It has been 115 days. 115 days. He has not been home. And we need every one of you. I need you. I need your help to bring my baby home.
Since Michael was only 5 at the time of his disappearance, there's only so many possibilities of what could have happened. Either he wandered off or he was abducted, so the first thing police did was search a 1 to 2 mile radius around the area that Michael went missing. As mentioned, they also cleared the family as there was no evidence of foul play on their property. However, that hasn't stopped media and public scrutiny of the parents, leaving the only other option there on the table being an abduction. The family stands by the Payette County Police ISP and the FBI during every single press conference. It's safe to say they're cleared, or certainly are still being looked into. I mean, they're not trying to evade the investigation in any sort, not to mention police have happily said that they are always cooperating with the investigation and have always made it a point to tell the press and the public to respect their privacy. A small Idaho County Department are joining the investigation. People could find better use of their times in putting these unfounded claims. Police have access to surveillance cameras throughout the neighborhood as well as those eyewitness accounts, so they have a pretty good indication of when Michael went missing. Also, in favor of what Tyler has said in the past, police were able to narrow down at the timeline of when Michael likely disappeared. Originally, police had said that Michael disappeared between 6:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. going off the last time that his father saw him that night. It's now believed that he disappeared between 6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m. Tyler was later able to provide a receipt from the pizza that he had ordered, and the time stamp was 6:40 p.m. It's unclear why they changed it, but it's safe to say and assume that they have cooperating evidence.
Tyler, can you walk us through just that night? I know you were home with the kids. Can you just walk us through everything that happened last July?
Went back to change bug. Michael was playing on his Switch. She was sleeping, so it took a minute for me to rouse her. And then I changed a diaper and ordered pizza. Probably took me, 15 minutes maybe. And came back out and went outside to smoke, and Monkey wasn't outside, so I figured he was inside with his brother, wasn't inside, and then I started to freak out, and it's all kind of a blur from there, just running all over the neighborhood. And tickle, tickle.
Hi, Pickles.
Did you,
What time was that?
I ordered the pizza at 6:40. I really couldn't tell you any other timestamp besides that with 100% certainty. And I don't even know if that's when I entered the order or when I finished the order or what. The receipt said 6:40.
and were you in the house when you ordered, or were you outside?
No, I was in the back bedroom with Bug.
And following, I mean, when you realized that you didn't know where Michael was, I mean, what did you do then? Did you knock on neighbors' doors? Did you...
I came outside and I looked down the street and I hopped in the car and called Brandy and drove to the splash pad and then all over the neighborhood, walking, running, driving. Like I couldn't tell you where. I mean, I didn't leave the neighborhood, but all up and down this, 8th Street complex, we were both all over.
Some of the people that like to speculate are wondering, well, why did you call Brandy? Why didn't you just call the police first? I mean, what was your thought going into that? I mean, obviously it probably wasn't rational because you were anxious. But I mean, can you just explain a little bit about your process in that way?
I was scared, and she was the first person I thought to call. I needed her home as fast as I could because I was panicked and out of my mind.
Just going off of that question, I just think, I'm sure you guys see a lot of stuff online as well. I mean, last person to see is people speculate about that. What would you say just to people to help clear your name a little bit?
Yeah. Anybody that's looked into the timeline, I feel like, there was no time for me to do anything. Not to mention I didn't leave the neighborhood besides in a cop car for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. I mean, there's thousands of people everywhere. I mean, there's nothing that I could have done. And I don't know how some people don't see that, but...
Talk to me about your relationship with Michael.
Yeah.
What was he like to you?
Is.
Yeah.
Sir, is.
What is he like to you?
He's my best little buddy. We do, comic books, monster trucks. He's the sweetest little boy in the world. He was always trying to help.
Oh.
He's perfect with his sister. They have an amazing relationship.
Both his sisters.
Both his sisters. He's a wonderful, wonderful little boy, and he doesn't deserve this.
Police gave another press conference at the one-year mark of Michael's disappearance. Chief Huff facilitated and Brandy spoke. About Michael, the investigators put Michael's face in a national information database from missing children. Chief Huff made it clear that the longer the search goes on, the bigger the chances that Michael was abducted. Huff tells the public that they continue to receive and clear leads they needed as much help as possible to bring Michael home. Chief Huff reminded the public about the 2 cars seen in the area at the time the blue Dodge was cleared. However, he told the public to remain vigilant and to keep their eyes peeled for the same 2017 to 2018 Honda Pilot that was seen driving in the neighborhood the night Michael disappeared. They believed that the car belongs to a resident. They were able to identify and clear that jogger who was seen that night, but they also still needed to find out who that man walking near the splash pad in Crestview Park was. He clarified that neither the owner of the Honda nor the man seen Walking were in trouble, but that they wanted to get in contact with them in case they had witnessed anything. The man walking was described as a white male in his late 20s to early 30s wearing a sleeveless t-shirt and black shorts and a hat.
Fruitland police are searching a home in connection to the disappearance of Michael Vaughn. Here's a map of the area we're talking about. You can see the home police are searching in proximity to where Michael's home is. Our crews on the scene say it's only about 4 minutes away. Our Abby Davis has been there throughout the day today, and she is live on the scene to update us with the latest information. Abby?
Doug, law enforcement have been out here since Friday after they received a very credible tip. That is what the police department told us, suggesting that they take a little bit of a walk. The road has been closed to through traffic since Friday evening. You can come over here, you can see this crime scene tape, and then continuing walking, you can see there is they're excavating the entire yard. We were told about 3 to 4 inches. You can see that dump truck there. They have been taking piles of dirt out since about 11 a.m. this morning. Where they're taking it, they said they're taking it to an off-site location where it will be processed. Now, like I said before, police obtained a search warrant and began working Friday night. They have plans to dig 3 to 4 feet deep. You can see a backhoe just went in and it's being used to dig up the topsoil. Now, Huff said in no way that they believe what they are doing now will contaminate any sort of evidence that they find if they do find any. Now, crews involved in the search include Idaho State Police, Fruitland Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Fruitland Public Works, and the Fruitland Fire Department. 2 canine dogs, were also here earlier this morning. They have since left, but crews are telling me that they are very hopeful and that they are grateful for all of the community support.
We just have to continue to process this, and if it yields, it yields. I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do I hope? Not really. I hope that Michael is still alive and that we can bring him home safely to his family. But we also know that we need to find resolution to this case, and we need to just follow the leads and follow the credible information, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Crews have been out here since about 10 a.m. this morning, and they did take a brief break around lunchtime. There were some possible safety concerns for the crews regarding utility lines and such, but you can see now they have since resumed. Now, a family spokesperson said the family thanks the community for all of their supports, but that they're requesting privacy at this time. Now, as far as a timeline, we don't really have one. Crews are expected to work until it gets dark tonight, but the police chief did say that they will most likely be out here tomorrow. Continuing to work.
Police have roped off up to 4 houses surrounding the Wanderers' home. Their plan is to dig up 3 to 4 feet of dirt and load it into a truck, where it will then be transported to another location and sifted through. They have arrested Sarah Wanderer, the only person so far in this entire investigation to be arrested in connection to Michael's disappearance. Sarah alleges no wrongdoings. The judge on the case has sealed the court records and other affidavits to protect the integrity of the case. It's been alleged that police don't believe Sarah was the only person with the knowledge of what happened to Michael, and it's believed Stacy Wondroff might be another person of interest. Sarah will be in court again on November 21st and again on November 22nd for her preliminary hearing. It's been alleged that the Wanderers had a white Lexus that they sold right after Michael's disappearance. The agony Michael's family is going through right must be unbearable. Brandy Neal told a reporter that she wasn't doing well at all, which is completely understandable. She also said it was taking everything in her power not to walk over to the Wondroff's home.
Fruitland woman Sarah Wanderer was arraigned virtually here at the Payette County Courthouse.
I understand what they've said is not correct.
Sarah Wanderer alleges no wrongdoing. A $500,000 bond. The state initially asking for more.
She's a danger to the community, and she fails to abide by the social norms that we all expect. And there are obviously very serious implications in her being aware of his whereabouts this whole time. So The state's asking for a $1 million bond.
Prosecutors also say Wandra was already on pretrial release for a previous felony charge related to illegally possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. Should Wandra post bond, she'll be required to be fitted with GPS monitoring prior to her release. In court Monday, the judge also ruled to seal all documents in the case, including investigative reports and affidavits where the details could compromise the ongoing investigation or potential future jurors. And police tell us they don't believe that Sarah Wandra is the only person with knowledge of what happened to Michael Vaughn. She'll be in court next on the 21st for a status conference and then again on November 22nd for her preliminary hearing.
Are you Sarah Wandra? Ma'am, can you hear me? I need you to move in a little closer to the mic. I'm unable to hear you.
No, I'm Stacy Wandra.
Okay. You're Stacy Wandra?
Yeah, I'm Sarah Wandra, sorry.
You're Sarah Wandra. Okay, thank you. Ms. Wandra, in this case, which is CR 38221769, you are charged with having violated the law in one count. It is alleged that you did on or about the 12th day of November of this year here in the state of Idaho that been made against you.
I understand what they've said is not correct.
All right. You have been charged with a crime. The deputies typically hand out a document that describes those rights in detail. Did you receive a document like that?
They're giving me documents right now.
All right. So in a criminal case, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to the underlying charges. You have the right to require the state to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to cross-examine and confront the evidence the state may put on in an effort to prove its case, the right to testify in your own defense if you wish to, the right to use subpoenas to bring witnesses and evidence to the trial as you may determine to be appropriate, and the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of these proceedings. Do you understand that you have those rights?
I have those rights, but I don't have any reason to be silent. I did nothing wrong.
All right, well, so I'm going to remind you that you have the right to remain silent. I'm not going to say anything to you or ask you any questions that are designed to get you to speak about or encourage you to speak about the underlying events. But everyone who gives up that right and does speak about the case or make any statement at all about it, of course, those can be used against you. So I'll remind you of that.
This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Stacy's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there. This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian is currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close.
And welcome back to the news at 4. Sarah Wandra, the woman charged with failing to report the death of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn of Fruitland, was scheduled to be back in court this morning for what's called a status hearing. Only she wasn't there. Wandra has been in the custody of the state mental hospital for treatment since early December. She was found to be mentally unfit to proceed in the court hearings. This morning, her attorney argued that under Idaho law, she has 90 days before the state can reassess her competency. So the judge set another status hearing for next month. She was arrested back in November after Fruitland police say they received a credible tip that she may have had something to do with Michael's disappearance.
Dismissed Sarah Wandra's charge of failure to report a death. Wandra, if you recall, is the woman accused of not notifying authorities of a dead body in the case of missing Michael Vaughn in Fruitland. The prosecution actually asked for the charge to be dropped. In a status hearing for Wandra this morning, Judge Brian Lee also vacated a preliminary hearing scheduled for tomorrow. Wandra's case is now listed as closed in Idaho court records. We're still working to gather more information on why exactly this case was dismissed. I just talked to Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, not too long ago, though, who told me this is disheartening and upsetting, but she is still confident law enforcement will bring justice for Michael as this investigation is ongoing. Michael went missing from his front yard back in July of 2021. Wandra lived about 4 blocks from the Vaughn family home when he went missing. Police say they believe Michael's remains were once buried on Wandra's property, but Michael's body was not found when the yard was excavated as part of the investigation.
Michael went missing back in July of 2021 while playing in the front yard of his Fruitland home.
New at 6, Sarah Wandra back in court today to hear new charges against her in Payette County. She is charged with 3 felonies: aggravated assault with a firearm, concealment of evidence, and possession of a controlled substance. Wandra pleaded not guilty this afternoon to all those. She is the woman who was charged earlier this year with failure to report a death in the case of missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughn in Fruitland. Now, those charges were dropped by the prosecution April 17th. Today's charges are not related to the Michael Vaughn case. Michael went missing from his front yard back in July of 2021. Wandra lived about 4 blocks from the Vaughn family home when he went missing. Police say they believe Michael's remains were once buried on Wandra's property, but his body was not found when the yard was excavated as part of that investigation.
June 24, 2023. Fruitland Saturday is Michael Monkey Vaughn's 7th birthday. His parents, Tyler Vaughn and Brandy Neal, won't be hosting any public events this year, due to negative backlash following last year's event. Rather, they will be celebrating Michael during a private gathering with family. Michael was last seen near his neighborhood in Fruitland on July 27, 2021. A spokesperson for the family is working on connecting the Argus Observer with his parents for an interview as the milestone approaches. In mid-April, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff said he was hoping to turn the case over to the prosecutor in the near future. A request for an update on how the investigation is going and whether he is nearer to handing the case over has not been returned. July 27, 2023.
Today marks 2 years since 5-year-old Michael Monkey Vaughn went missing from his home in Fruitland. Fruitland Police Department said today on Facebook they have submitted a case to the Payette County prosecutor. In this case, a prosecutor would review a probable cause affidavit and decide whether or not to take the case before a judge. If there's enough evidence, a judge can issue an arrest warrant. We don't know what's in that affidavit, though. On July 27th of 2021, Michael Vaughn was reported missing from his front yard. He hasn't been seen since. Police later announced 4 suspects they believe know something about his disappearance. The Fruitland Police Department has also searched the home and excavated the backyard of a neighbor after a specialty trained dog hinted at human remains. However, none were found. Michael's mom issued a statement today. Brandy Neal said, "It has been very hard for us this past month. Everything feels like the day Monkey went missing all over again. It's so hard every day, but for days like these, birthdays, Halloween, Christmas, everything without Michael here is heartache. We stand strong with law enforcement, the community, and family."
Michael Vaughn, missing since July 27, 2021, missing from Fruitland, Idaho, born June 24th, 2016, age now 7, sex male, race white, hair color blonde, eye color blue, height 3 foot 7 inches, weight 50 pounds. Michael was last seen on July 27th, 2021. He was last known to be wearing a light blue t-shirt with the Minecraft logo on it, dark blue boxer briefs, and sandals. Anyone having information should contact 1-800-843-5678, Fruitland Police Department, Idaho, 1208-642-6006, or call 911.